Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. I'm going to do the market close update. This is going to be from my telephone. Apologies, I don't have access to my computer now and I really need to make this video very quick, but at the same time, I don't want you guys to miss this important information. Let's have a look at what happened today. As you can see, we have a fall into the support. We hit that 50 and at some point during the day, the RSI 4-hour was below the support. But we can say that now, in this current candle, as I'm recording, we seem to be bouncing off support. Of course, there's still a little bit of time to close the candle. We are at 9 p.m. So I'm assuming that at midnight we confirm the candle. There's still 3 hours to close it. But in the price, my RSI of 50 seems to be holding perfectly the price action at the moment at support. You can see that we went below it up until 85,900. We got bought up right above the RSI 50, so that was a great call. There hasn't been any breakdown of the neck. The 50, we say that was going to be our support, and if we break that 50, that we could go to 84. We were below that line, but we got bought up. Therefore, there was no trade to the downside, at least not a breakout breakdown trade. And how is it looking like now? Are we going to basically get sold off now and try to break the support and go lower? Or are we going to potentially try once again to hit the 89? And I think that is kind of my questioning at the moment. And I'm going to be looking at the charts to see if we can spot anything that can tell us where are we going. So first of all, let's update the RSI. Okay, so we already say that our pivot high is in here, but then we get these points of contact in here, and we are being held by this support. So therefore, we can argue that we are in a squeeze. There is a chance that we break the red line to the upside and we get an internal breakout that could give us a little bit of upside, maybe just enough to get to 89. But if we break the support on this white line below the RSI, then we're going to have to extend this line like this, and then potentially we're going to get a move down and break or test the 84. The 86 we already tested, right? So 86, I think it was actually 85 and almost 900. So that is kind of the way where we can divide these two potential scenarios, whether we go for the 89 or if we break, we go for the 84. And actually, if in that case, we could go much lower if we break this, because this is a channel that has been accumulating enough energy to the upside. And if it breaks in here, we get a good chance that we could reset, right? Let's look at this from the distance. From when are we going up? We are going up since 26th of February. So you can see the higher lows all the time. We have a peak in here thanks to the Trump tweet, I believe, if I remember right. And then we have a breakout of the global at the top. So we are looking for that channel down, and we kind of built the whole channel down, but now we are being held by the support, and there is the decision time whether this wants to kick one more time up or if it's going to break down. And before we draw any conclusions, we're going to look as well into the daily time frame for that. So I think that's very important. We're going to look at the fair value gaps. We're going to look at liquidity, the whole thing, the usual. Let's go next with the daily. All right, let's see what we get in here. So the daily hasn't really taken that much damage. Let's look at this from the distance. The blue lines horizontal are our trading range on the daily. We have a falling wedge. We have the 200 moving average that we reclaim And we were talking that since we reclaim the bottom of the trading range with the volume profile on the daily, which is 86,300, there is a good chance that we go higher. But we've been all these days moaning that we don't really have that market structure in here to make it easier to go up. And that's why we've been for 3 days being rejected by 88. And we say that with these weeks in here, we were going to get a retest of the breakout. So far, look how perfect are the retest. 86,444, which is the white line, then 85,973 by the dollar, another successful retest. So this is decision time as well for the daily. Are these 2 consecutive retests just enough to get us back up, or are we going to come back inside the falling wedge, faking out everybody that is currently in the long entering at this area? If that happens, it could get painful, assuming that we lose 83,888. Take note of that number. Where is that number coming from? That 83,888 is our support from the channel up that we currently have on the daily. That is around RSI 45. Very precise. So that's the level that we need to defend if this downside continues. And I'm talking not closing below that to still have chances to battle our way out and up out of the falling wedge. All right, so that is how we defend the upside. And then, of course, if we manage to defend that upside by coming into 45 around here, ideally not lower than that to keep the hopes quite high, we can go lower, sure, but then we start diminishing the potential to continue up, right? Because if we enter below this yellow line, that means that it's very likely that this whole thing was a fake out. But if we defend 45, then there is less doubt in the retest. It's just a matter of probabilities. And what else did I want to say about the daily? I think that's it about the daily. Let's go to the fair value gaps to see what kind of structure are we currently creating. Where are my fair value gaps? They are here. Perfect. And today we were talking about this downward sloping resistance that is keeping us there against it. I'm talking about this white line. And now we have a new fair value gap. Finally, we have something above the price. This is a motivation to go up until 87,841. And we just created that one, and we've been consuming it already because the candle that is just moving up is taking it little by little. Actually, it was fatter before I started recording the video. Now, what do we have on the downside? What could be the downside if we go lower? We have the 84,300 that I already mentioned earlier in the earlier video, that's still a mild pullback, that we can still recover from that. But if we go to the 82,500, that is a bit of stretching it too much and is risking that we enter in the black hole in here, right? This vacuum, that we also have a vacuum on the top, and we are in the ugly truth, which is deciding whether we are going to hit 75, a lower low, or if we are going to go to 100K or 95K, which is the top of the bull market support band. All right, so I talk about the 84,300, I talk about the 87. Let's move on to the next chart that I wanted to talk about today. I'm not going to talk about the CPR. You can watch the video earlier. And I think we're good to go with this. I think you should watch the video earlier. It contains a lot more insights. And this is just going to be the quick update. And let's go straight into the liquidity. So I still remain bullish towards 89. I still think that we can hit this even though we broke down in here. There is a chance that we achieve the full target though, right? So this 84,800. If we see a rejection and we cannot enter back into this triangle, that could be a rejection, and then we take that 85. At the moment, the trend direction strength here at the lower end of the chart is showing us that the strength is going into number 3, which is the highest you get of a downtrend. I don't know how they calculate this thing, because this is actually going up, but the red says trend is down, and they really recommended me in Trading Different to have a look at this. That is very accurate. You can see that the green there finished there, and then immediately we started going lower. So I'm still evaluating that indicator, but I want you also to keep an eye on it. Let me know in the comments what you think so far. I think the 89 in terms of liquidity has grown. It got heavier than this morning. We have new levels in here, so we are monitoring with a magnifier glass what's going on in that area to see if there is likelihood that we're going to go there. In the defense of going into 85, it's also becoming heavier, but still today we left the red and we went into a green area, and I think that was because there were some other external fears in the market. It didn't have to do really with the liquidity. That liquidity is still here, and I suspect that there's still an appetite to go and hit it. Let's look at the liquidation heat map. You can see that we went for 86, which were peanuts relative to what we are still living at 89. This is liquidity from the past 48 hours. We can even see, I think the 2-week is also going to highlight it somehow. Let's have a quick look. Well, in here it shows us bigger the 82,500, but that's just a little bit further away from the price. And at the top, yes, it shows the 90. So relative to where we went today, that was kind of nothing. And I think external factors caused that we went there. Let me see if I can go to liquidation map, I think it's called. I have the tab all the time open, so I don't remember what's the name. And I usually put it in 30 days, and I want to see that 89, how large it is. It's still the king around the price, and in the past 30 days is still the largest level. We have the 83 here growing a little bit, but yeah, 89 is still on the table in my opinion. And let's go with high block capital, and we got a good amount of bidding in here. Notice that it kind of peaked in this candle. The bidding at 0.11 is one of the highest levels that we are seeing for reversals to upside in this trading area, in this whole pattern, with the exception of this area here on the left hand side that we made it to 27. That was even flagging green as the reversal. That was at 77.5. That's when I bought, right? I like that signal. Here we're just looking at small bidding, but just enough to produce those higher lows that we are currently seeing. And it's kind of increasing in this whole area. There is an interest, in my opinion, to hit 89, or is a huge manipulation that is even manipulating my interpretation of the chart at the moment. Could be the case, could be the case. Let's see the funding rates. Let's see if they're in the negative. No, they're not in the negative. We can see they're in positive. Let's see the longs versus shorts. If we are seeing new longs coming in to rescue this drop in the price. Well, yes, there was a spike at 10 a.m. and that spike was very small. We are still not seeing increments of longs very high, which cause huge reversals to upside. we are in the area where this indicator is kind of telling us that we are close to a top. And I don't discard that. I just think that the 89 is still very attractive for market maker to leave it behind, even if they wanted to dump the price. I think I wanted to show you that, and let me show you one more thing. This is Trading Light. I think I posted earlier today on a tweet, and I was showing you the levels where they're trying to defend the price. And I refer to this level, I think it was 85,600, and I show you this 600, 600, 600, 5, and 500. And I posted a short as well in YouTube. And I hope that you saw it, because look at how it got bought up as the price was coming back down into this area at 85,800. It bounced perfectly and it went all the way back to 86,500. So that's 1K move in a single candle, and they are still defending this area. You can see that there is a ton of bidding activity. That bidding activity is the one that we were just seeing in high block capital, so don't underestimate that. In terms of resistance, I'm not seeing that much, right? So there's no much ask in this area at the top of the price, and that is contributing that we are keeping a ratio bid ask at around 0.06, which is, as I show you, a high level relative to the past couple of weeks. Not that much, not comparable to 0.27. And I think I'm missing just one thing before I go, which is the delta of liquidations, which is now in the negative. Okay, so even if it's a small number, which I think it is, it's very flat, but first time we go into the negative, so that's putting the shorts a higher risk. So we got another potential argument to hit that 89. Very interesting. And yeah, guys, today have a look at the video about Manus AI. This video is, I'm introducing this tool, Manus AI. It's a completely new way of doing like a chat GPT, but in this case, it does the full work for you. And I ask it to do an in-depth analysis on all coins. Don't miss that, because it's revolutionary technology at the moment from China. And I also wanted to mention that I have on my Patreon now all my indicators. You can get them all the VIP for 1 full year, and there is over this price that you're seeing in the lower end of the screen until the end of the month. I'm introducing a 35% discount, so you can apply that to this price and get them for a full year. And that really supports the channel. Of course, I use all of that to get someone to edit my videos, someone to help me doing market research and get better content for you guys. So I really appreciate that. That's a win-win for all of us. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Take care. Bye-bye.